Today I'm going to be randomly building a level in Super Mario Maker 2. First, I'm going to use a random wheel to choose the game style. Here we go, let's see what we get. Looks like we have gotten Super Mario World. Next, I will be randomly choosing the course theme. See what we get this time. And we got ground theme. Next, I'm going to be choosing 3 of one of these items to base my level off of. Springs. Let's see what's next. On-off switch has a lot of possibilities. Let's see what we get next. Looks like we've gotten grinders. Okay. Next we're going to be seeing if there is a boss, and if so, which one they are. Let's see what we get this time. We have gotten Ludwig. Next we'll see if it's going to be night or day. See, day's a lot easier, but night's more fun. Night. With all the things that have been chosen, I will try to make a level out of them. So to start off my level, I decided I would make a jump over a pit full of like some saws I decided to add. First I made the pit, then I added the saws after. Then after I tested it, I just made the ground, put a mushroom power up so you could be Big Mario. I thought that was a necessary change that needed to happen. I built a ramp up here so I could start building a mechanism of on and off switch. Like, it took a while to figure out, but it was eventually simplified after this weird attempt of trying to figure out how stuff works. So I decided I was going to try to make a thing where you jump on a spring, you hit on and off blocks, and you go to the next one after I messed it up the first time after building it. I eventually fixed it over a pit of saws so that because I wanted saws there. Basically, after doing that, I decided that I needed to extend it a little further. Eventually deciding to put blocks for different springs to stand on so you could just keep doing it over and over again. Made them higher so you couldn't jump up there. After that, I tried to make a little hill you slide down with some saws. I eventually decided just to make it no saws, and then it's a hill you slide down to jump over a saw. And then I made a bunch of, I think 4 saws, just kind of spinning around after a while. Put some coins, because coins need to be everywhere. Tried to make it to where you couldn't jump up there. I figured it out. Put 4 saws there because I needed to. I liked it a lot better. Put it up so you could run underneath it as little Mario if you need to. And I tried to make a contraption. It was like that held a spring, and it was going to be. I went through a lot of design changes. It ended up being a Koopa Troopa shell that you hit that, it frees it. And then I made it high enough to where you actually needed the spring to get over it because you didn't need the spring at first. So I made it like that. I extended the bottom a little bit, made it so where you could jump up there. I tried to like make a path, and then I made it to where it's like you can run across it without the shell going, but it's a lot more fun with it going. And then I created the rest of the ground, some saws and tracks for fun, because I thought it'd be fun to have saws and tracks. Then I made a giant hill downwards, and I put some coins on the hill, and I put a pipe after this giant wall that I made so you couldn't continue, and I put a pipe so that you could go to the next part. I had trouble figuring out. I wanted to do like a cave, but using the ground theme was really hard. I eventually came up with a solution you'll see later. Right now I'm building the cave ceiling. So I put some saws on tracks to dodge, and it worked pretty well. Next I did some saws I wanted you to jump over. It took a while for me to figure out how to do this. I eventually decided to do it like this, after putting some blocks on top so that you could actually get up there, and it worked pretty well, so I kept it like that. I put a wall with an on-off switch to make sure you had to be on a certain color, and I tried to make a Koopa Troopa path making thing where you try to guide a Koopa Troopa across paths, and I struggled with it a lot. I spent a lot of time on it. I did not know how to do it. I struggled a lot trying to figure it out. I've scrapped it over and over again. I started over and over again. It was really really hard to do. I eventually just moved on. I put a key and a pipe. So the key door and a pipe so that you could go up to the next part. I started making this, which was like a little area in between. It was too hard, too impossible to do, so I scrapped it. I decided to work on it later. I decided to change the theme to night because that was a thing I had to do and I had forgotten. See if it changed anything drastically. It didn't, so that worked out well for me. Made it to where it's always the same, and I just scrapped that whole thing. I started over, and eventually I just decided to not do it at all. Like, I just scrapped the whole idea and changed it to a new one. Once I did that, I decided I'm going to make a little platforming minigame where I'll trap my friend the Koopa up at the ceiling, and you'll have like a little platform thing to try to figure out. I'll make it to where you have to hit an on-off block with a spring. And then I made this little area with some saws. I put too many at first, so I decided to remove some. And then you jump over that, use spring, jump over that. So played the level throughout here to test it out. Everything was working perfectly. It was a really cool level. Use that to the top. You go in, boom. I started making the background here to make it a cave using semi-solid platforms. It worked really well. I liked it. And now I have a cool cave using the ground theme. So I started making this little saw contraption where you jump over them, but then I forgot that I had to actually add a boss. So after adding all these coins and stuff, I decided and realized I had to remove it and put a boss there instead. So I did that. I tested my level a lot to see if it worked. But after doing that, I realized I had to put a boss there. So I scrapped the whole thing, started building a boss room. After building the boss room, I decided to put some key door to get through, Ludwig himself, some semi-solid platforms for him to stand on. Figure that out, put a background, make it a cave. Boom, boom, boom. Put the end a little closer, put saws on the ceiling for fun. Moved the door, and I tried to play through the whole thing. And that is when I realized that if you're small Mario, it's really hard to beat the boss. So I put fire flowers, made it red so they come out often, and it was a lot easier. There was my level. Here's the full playthrough if you want to see that. The link code is on screen right now if you want to play it. That is the end for today's video. I think I did a pretty good job with the random options given to me. If you want to play it, there's the link code just earlier on screen. And have a good day.